This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals, following an RNS stating that the company have agreed an option to acquire 100% of past-producing gold mine, the Sylvanite Gold Tailings Project located in Kirkland Lake, Ontario, Canada. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Ryan, how are you?
Very well and very excited, Mark.
Very excited. Okay, well, we'll find out why. We can maybe talk about this project, what it's all about. But I do understand that it's had a significant historical production record, historic tailings there with an estimated resource of 67,000 ounces of gold in the tailings there. Further sampling required, an assessment needed for confirmation. But what can you tell us about this tailings project then? What are the key facts? What attracted you and the board to this particular tailings project?
Yeah, so Sylvanite is historically the fourth highest producing gold mine in Kirkland Lake's history. It's produced over 1.6 million ounces of gold, and this project is just 2 to 3 kilometers away from our existing Tech-Hughes Gold Tailings project. So what that does is it not only expands our footprint in the immediate area, but that will allow us to look at economies of scale considering both projects at the same time. So what this shows is, there's absolute, opportunity here to bring on other tailings projects in the area. It's a substantial opportunity for us to scale the operations. So it's a fantastic acquisition for the company, and I'm very excited about it.
Good. So you said this was the fourth largest gold producing project in the Kirkland Lake area. You've managed to, or you will be going through the process of acquiring 100% of the tailings project. How did that opportunity come about? Does no one else want it? What was the way in for Fulcrum?
The way in is essentially people seeing what we're doing, what we're building, what we're targeting to do. Now, tailings and mine waste from historic production is a low-risk asset. And that's something that we've been bearing in mind. Obviously, exploration is an expensive business. So, what we've done, we've got this partner, Xtract, and their environmentally friendly and cyanide-free technology. And people want to work with us. It's that simple.
People want to work with you. Well, let's talk about that then, because of course we have briefly touched about your partnership there with Xtract. We did an interview with William, that's Xtract Process Solutions. So where are you with that situation, and can you tell us any more about what is so special about technology and also how advanced it is? I know you with Tech-Hughes, you're waiting for samples to come back, aren't you? Which I think certainly to the market anyway would demonstrate the opportunity here, but you can probably see it already.
Well, absolutely. Xtract signed a deal with Bechtel earlier this year to commercialize the technology. We've got a very good relationship with Xtract and Bechtel. They're partnering with us on Tech-Hughes. We're exploring on additional frameworks to bring further value to the combined overall partnership. Obviously, I can't comment too much on that until that's in place. But I think we're very close to that, and it's a very exciting opportunity for the company. The Xtract technology. People might say, how do you know it works?
Yeah.
And Bechtel, they're a tier 1 engineering company. It's I think it's $17 billion of revenue last year. So I think it's safe to say that if Bechtel are comfortable with this technology, then I think Fulcrum shareholders should be equally comfortable and excited about that. And further to that, Xtract have been working with Silver One up in Nevada, and just recently published some results where they've shown the ability to double the silver grade recovery rates, which is quite simply phenomenal. It's turning uneconomic projects into an economic project situation.
Okay. So, are we talking here? I mean, you mentioned that them working with Bechtel, and they're not going to get involved if it's not something that's got promise. But does it still have to be demonstrated? Would you say it's demonstrated, let's say, behind closed doors, and it's still got to be demonstrated to the wider public? We're just sort of waiting for that.
Yeah, so Fulcrum are, first movers on this technology. The technology has been used in a number of other projects. It's been pilot tested, bench tested. So we know it works. It's got some fantastic test data from that, as demonstrated from the Silver One results. And, we know the technology works. So it's a case of us bringing that project opportunity, that pipeline, which is what Sylvanite does. Tech use 130,000 ounces of gold, Sylvanite 67,000 ounces of gold. We're up at around 200,000 ounces of gold on low risk assets from mine waste. The exploration risk is significantly reduced. We're not going out drilling to go and find a deposit. We know it's there. The historic testing shows that the gold grades are there. We know the technology works. So it's a case of Fulcrum putting it together now, and bringing these two projects together. As I say, it shows that economies of scale potential. And just generally, tailings is such an immense opportunity for Fulcrum, and we're really excited as we get going. Yeah.
I mean, is this a real sort of innovation, revolutionary technology here?
100%. It is. We firmly believe that this will be a very disruptive technology to the entire. And we're very excited to be able to bring this to our investors at Fulcrum.
Indeed. Well, you say you're a first mover there, and it seems quite clearly. I mean, with the news the other day on the disposal of the uranium assets, it seems that perhaps the focus now is clearly in the gold tailings business. Is that fair to say?
Well, we've made no secret since the day we listed in London that we would seek opportunities to divest non-core assets, such as the uranium assets. I'm hugely pleased that we've got to the point that we have with the uranium assets, and we should have some further news on that over the next few weeks. So we've shown that our strategy has been validated, and we're investing into the best performing metals, uranium and gold. We are absolutely focusing on gold. We've got low risk gold tailings assets. We're in a low risk jurisdiction. So now it's about how we can extract value from those projects as quickly as possible.
Right. Okay. And if we were to think of some of the what you've got to do really to get cash flow really from these gold tailings, and how it actually would work, is it a matter of taking the tailings to a location and then they get processed, or does stuff have to be installed on site?
Yeah, so what we will do is similar to tech use, we'll do testing with the Sylvanite tailing samples. And what we will look at is situations where we can either commingle production or do back-to-back production, which will naturally reduce the capex overall across the two projects, bring the overall cost of the projects down, increase the profitability, which is, the economies of scale there. And, at that point, as part of the, post-testing, we'll have a conceptual study, which will look at, the exact plant design, the size of it, where we should place it, and what we'll do with the tailings material that's left after. I mean, It's interesting that you asked that question, because, what we're doing is we're taking hazardous wet tailings and we're reprocessing it. We're extracting the valuable metals, but we're also separating the water from the tailings material itself. So we're able to dry stack these into areas which, quite frankly, haven't been habitable. So, significant amount of opportunity to us. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So you can then process them and dry stack them, because, of course, that is a ongoing concern, isn't it, for old mining projects? So you've got the tailings storage facility, tailings dams, different ways to store them, but they can be unstable, can't they? They require constant maintenance.
Absolutely. And, it's not just the stability issues with the dams themselves. They build these dams up and this mine waste sits within it. But you've also got the egress of water and the leaching of chemicals into the surrounding areas. So it's the stability and the wet contents of these tailings pose environmental risk to the local communities and the surrounding areas. And there's quite a keen push by local communities and by the government to really kind of address these issues. Mm-hmm. Up until now, it has essentially been a monitoring process. How can we make sure that these concerns do not get worse? And the focus now being on actually, how can we actually make the areas better? And we think we have the solution for that.
Really? Okay. I wonder if I can just go over, I've just been doing some quick calculations here. So you've got 130,000 ounces at Tech Hughes in the tailings estimated, and then 60 or a bit more than 60 estimated here in Sylvanite. So that puts you to that 200,000 ounces that you said. So we times that by the gold price today, which is $23.51. That is a potential cash flow there, $470 million US. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay. Right. Okay. Obviously, there's going to be various costs involved as well, but yeah, that kind of gives the scale of the idea. Then it ties into. I mean, you say, and actually, I think in the RNS that the cost for this is actually less than $3.80 per ounce. So again, some maths can be done there, perhaps by investors to work out what the potential sort of revenues might be on that. I mean, how sure are you that these ounces are here? What is it? And earlier in the RNS as well, it talked about 70% is estimated to be recoverable. This is all known information then. Do you have to do any more research or work to find out what might be there and what is recoverable?
Well, what that historic data tells us is that, tailings normally 30 to 40% recovery. For example, there's the Windara Gold Tailings Project in Western Australia. I think there's 150,000 ounces of gold. They reckon they can get 55,000 ounces out of the ground.
Okay.
To try and turn a profit. The break-even price of, I think it's $13.84 US per ounce. Now, with Sylvanite, we can see from the previous pilot testing there, up to 70%. At Tech Hughes, that kind of study hasn't been done before. But even if we bench this at 50%, across projects, you're talking at, in excess of 100,000 ounces of gold, potentially $1,000 an ounce profit if we simply match what the Windara DFS, which was published in 2021, is. Okay. That gives you an idea on the kind of potential here. And as I say, Kirkland Lake and Timmins, just an hour up the road, combined, they've produced over 90 million ounces of gold historically. There's an immense opportunity to go out there and reprocess a hell of a lot of tailings. And as I say, we've got a technology partner in Xtract who we absolutely believe will be a completely disruptive technology for the entire industry.
Wow. Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing more. I mean, what can we expect in terms of seeing some of those results from Xtract and you actually getting into production here?
Yeah, so we're in the process of that testing. I should hope that over the course of the next few weeks, don't hold me to that because obviously subject to, you still need external laboratory verification on grades, for example. So we are kind of bound by that, but we're hopeful to have that, hopefully in weeks rather than months.
Okay.
That. And obviously we've got Sylvanite now, which we're busy making plans on, trying to get the testing program in place for Sylvanite. And we need to bring Sylvanite up to speed with the level of testing we've tech used, so we can consider these as one and present it as a tailings hub, because that's essentially what we're creating.
Okay. And you're looking at other opportunities? You said there's vast opportunity on Ontario. You got your eyes on other projects?
We're not looking specifically because we don't need to.
Right, yeah.
There's a few other tailings projects which has been brought to my attention. I think that right now we've got a very good position in terms of gold tailings, and we just need to make sure that we make the right steps. And as we just run through the figures there, over $450 million worth of gold there for us to
go and have a look at. Yeah, indeed. Well, I look forward to you going on and having a look at it, Ryan, and learning a bit more. But thank you very much for your time today, Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals.
Thanks, Mark. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.